It's strange how history works. We imagine world-changing events happen with grand speeches, powerful armies, and decisive actions. But sometimes, it's the smallest, most random moment that sets the entire world on fire. This is the story of how a single missed turn, one man's hunger, and a sandwich led to the deaths of millions. This is how World War I began. The year is 1914. Europe is on edge. Tensions are rising, alliances are forming, and hatred simmers beneath the surface. There are no explosions yet. No declarations of war. But you can feel something is coming. It's a quiet before the storm. The major powers, Austria-Hungary, Germany, Russia, France, and Britain, are locked in a delicate balance. A single spark could light the fuse. In the Balkans, that spark is closer than anyone realizes. Austria-Hungary, an old empire held together by tradition and pressure, rules over many ethnic groups, including the Slavs, who deeply resent them. Among these groups is Serbia, a small but proud nation with strong nationalist dreams. Dreams of uniting all Slavic people under one flag, a dream Austria fears. Inside Serbia, a secret group known as the Black Hand has emerged. They believe violence is the only way to break free from Austrian control. Their target? A man named Franz Ferdinand. Archduke Franz Ferdinand is next in line for the throne of Austria-Hungary. He's not well loved by everyone, especially not by the nationalists, but he represents the empire's future. On June 28, 1914, he decides to visit Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia, a region recently annexed by Austria. He's accompanied by his wife, Sophie. They arrive in a motorcade, driving through the streets in an open car, waving to crowds, unaware that 6 assassins are waiting for them. These 6 men, all part of the Black Hand, are spaced out along the route. Each has a grenade, a pistol, and cyanide for suicide. They're ready to kill, and die for their cause. The first assassin watches as the car approaches. But he freezes. His nerves fail him. The second throws a grenade, but it bounces off the car and rolls underneath the one behind. It explodes, injuring officers and civilians. Chaos erupts. The Archduke speeds away. The plan has failed, or so it seems. The assassins scatter into the city. One of them, a 19-year-old named Gavrilo Princip, escapes into a side street. He's frustrated. Angry. Ashamed. He was supposed to be part of history, and now he's just another failed revolutionary. So he does what any tired, hungry young man might do. He walks into a small cafe and buys a sandwich. That's right. A sandwich. As Princip sits, chewing quietly and lost in thought, something unbelievable happens. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, shaken by the grenade attack, has changed his route. He wants to visit the hospital to check on the injured. But no one tells the driver. And so, the car turns onto the wrong street. The street where Princip is sitting. The driver realizes the mistake and begins to reverse. But it's too late. Princip looks up. And sees the very man he tried to kill, sitting helplessly in a stalled car, just feet away. Without hesitation, he drops the sandwich. Steps forward. Pulls out a pistol. And fires 2 shots. One hits Sophie in the stomach. The other hits Franz in the neck. She dies before they reach the hospital. He follows minutes later. 2 bullets. 2 deaths. But the ripples are enormous. Austria blames Serbia. Serbia denies involvement, but Austria doesn't care. With Germany's support, Austria-Hungary declares war on Serbia. Russia steps in to defend Serbia. Germany declares war on Russia. France, allied with Russia, mobilizes. Germany invades Belgium. Britain declares war on Germany. Within weeks, the world is at war. Nations fall into place like dominoes. Millions are sent to fight. Trenches are dug. Gas is used. A generation is lost. All because of that one moment. A sandwich. A wrong turn. A chance encounter. It's hard to imagine that such a small, ordinary moment could change the course of history. But it did. What if the car had stayed on the right road? What if the grenade had worked earlier? What if Princip had taken 5 more minutes to eat? Would the war have happened anyway? Maybe. But not like this. Not so suddenly. Not so violently. Not with such a perfect storm of anger, alliances, and ego. And maybe, just maybe, it could have been avoided. History is full of these strange moments, times when everything turns because of one random event. It's what some call the butterfly effect. A small flap of wings, a tiny shift in air, and a storm halfway across the world. In this case, a hungry young man, a failed assassination. And a sandwich. That sandwich, that wrong turn, those 2 bullets, they didn't just end 2 lives. They ended peace in Europe. They ended empires. They created new nations. They birthed modern warfare. And they set the stage for an even greater nightmare, World War II. The assassination of Franz Ferdinand wasn't the cause of World War I. It was the trigger. The world was already full of tension, pride, and paranoia. But that moment, unscripted, accidental, perfectly timed, was the spark that lit the fire. So next time someone tells you history is about great leaders and powerful armies, remind them of the sandwich. Remind them that sometimes, the smallest thing changes everything.